Navigating midlife can be challenging at the best of times, and even more so when you lead a hectic, busy life. On this episode of Natural Mojo, I'm sharing 8 tips to help you make the most of this time to get through that busy time that's just making you even more flush than you normally are during. My name's Pamela Sylvan. I'm your host for this week's episode of Natural Mojo. And I don't know about you, but I'm having a hell of a time getting through midlife with my busy life. The hot flashes that come up, the awkwardness, the discomfort, the foggy mind, all of it is just driving me up a wall because I have things to do. I don't have the luxury of sitting down and getting through all of these symptoms. And I still know that I am worthy of all the things I want to do in my life. My life is not over, so what do I do? Well, I did a little bit of research and I came up with these 8 that I'm implementing in my life practically on a daily basis, and I thought it'll help you out too. So here they are. Thyself. I talk about this a lot. Know thyself, know your body, and know your symptoms. Educate yourself on what's going on with you. What are the most troubling aspects of this time of your life, of this transition that you're going through? Not all women experience the same symptoms of menopause, so you really can't go by what your inner circle or friends might be talking about. For instance, my mother didn't experience anything, so I can't get any sort of frame of reference from what happened with her. So I have to educate myself on what is going on with me. So know yourself, know your body, write things down, keep a menopause journal if you need to. Day by day, things might be shifting for you. And with that information, you can then take it into your healthcare provider who can help you alleviate some of the issues that are going on. Don't let the symptoms of menopause get in the way of what you're doing with your life. Prioritize self-care. It's not that you need to be in the time of menopause to prioritize this. This is something that really is an ongoing aspect of who you are, especially as you age. Prioritize self-care. You're probably at this time of life, like many women are, and myself included, where our children have grown up and they're no longer under the same roof and they don't need our help as much as they once did. So you have more time than you probably did in your younger days. So take that time and use it wisely. Educate yourself on how you can better take care of yourself. Incorporate more sleep. If you can't get good sleep, learn how to practice sleep hygiene. And you might have to talk to your healthcare provider if things are getting in your way. Exercise, eat well, eat healthy, hydrate, practice really great skincare. All of these things are, to me, detrimental in getting through this time. I don't have all the time in the world, and you may not either, but there is no reason to put yourself last on the list. You are your most important asset, especially at this time of your life. Don't let things slide. You do not want to have little things build up into big things that you could have taken care of before and didn't. All right? So prioritize your self-care. Stress. Stress can make this menopausal time even more difficult if you're not on top of it and get in the way of your life. If stress takes you down, whether you have anxiety attacks, panic attacks, or depression or any of it, it could get in the way of your busy life. And, if you're still on the go, maybe a busy career or you're traveling or what have you, you don't want stress to sideline you. I myself had to take a major time out because I wasn't properly handling stress. My numbers were way too high and it got in my way. My health was affected, even my self-worth was affected. So manage stress, practice things like yoga, mindfulness, deep breathing, exercise, all of it. I mean, there is no lack of information on how to manage stress. And again, another thing that you can talk to your healthcare provider. To me, it's the number one thing. Stress is a killer. And I'll be quite honest about this. High blood pressure, strokes, heart attacks, you name it. Stress is a silent killer. And we don't even think about it. We poo-poo it, we ignore it. Meanwhile, below our surface, it's eating away at us. And it causes things like disease, things like cancer, things like, there are many. And you know what I'm talking about. You can research these things for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. And we're at that time of our life where we are very prone to disease, especially those that are connected to high levels of stress that we're not taking care of or making time to handle. So manage stress. It's one of the leading causes of illness and even death for women our age. So don't take it lightly. Take care of it. And I really stress this point. because I myself am going through this right now, so I know that which I'm speaking of. And I had to take time out. That's why I'm here in the great outdoors to help manage some of my stress symptoms because I'm too busy to be sidelined right now. And I'm sure you are too. So seek support. I know I'm talking about, having a busy life and not having time to do most things, especially if you're going through menopause. But, this conversation that we have, or even better, don't have around menopause is getting in our way. We think it's just us going through these things primarily, or we're embarrassed about it and we don't want to talk about it. There is nothing to be embarrassed about. Your friends, if they're about the same age as you are probably going through this time of their life too. Maybe there are elders in your family, elder women that have gone through. What did they do? There might be some healthcare providers in your area or online that you can connect to. There's so many groups. There's so many influencers, podcasters, and authors out there that are speaking about this topic. There's no need to be kept in the dark about this. So get some support, whether it's your inner circle or it's the world at large, or books or podcasts or videos. There is help for you to manage this so it won't get in the way of your otherwise busy. What you might want to think about while you're going through menopause in your busy life is to communicate to your loved ones, to your family, your other half, your spouse, your partner, your children if your children are still at home. Let them know what you're going through and how they can best help you manage this time. Maybe you need people to help take on more responsibility around the house. Maybe you need people to notice when you're not having a good time, or you're not managing your emotions well, or if you're being irritable or any of it. Let them know what you're going through. Sometimes keeping people in the dark or keeping your situation secretive just adds fuel to that fire. And you don't want that getting. Relationships are adversely affected because we don't communicate what's happening with us. As women, we seem to think that we have to keep looking beautiful. We have to keep being pretty. We have to keep on top of our game. We have to keep our calm. We have to keep our head. You know, there are times when you're just going to lose it. There are times when you're just a mess, a hot mess. I'm a hot mess a lot of the time. And I've given myself the freedom to be that way when I need to be that way. My body's going through a change. I don't apologize for it. I don't make excuses for it. It just is at that time. And if I don't feel like doing certain things, for instance, I'm going through a time of my life where my libido has waned, not is waning, has waned drastically. And I don't feel bad about that. It's part of the process. And I'm doing what I need to do to take care of myself. I'm taking my supplements, I'm taking my infused teas, herbal teas, I'm taking what I need to take to get through the change, and this too shall pass. I know a lot of women start freaking out because they think, well, it's over for them. It's not over for you. You're just going through a change, and as you go through changes, you have to be patient with yourself so you don't give up on yourself. Find out what you need to know to take care of yourself and communicate the process to your family, especially to your partner if you're going through it with your partner. Remember, menopause is not just happening to you, it's happening to those around you, and it's affecting them too. And maybe someone in your life is not feeling as loved as they need to feel because you're going through what you're going through. So reach out, communicate, make room for the opinions of others to come in so you know how they're feeling in your life as you move through this time of your life. Time to talk to a healthcare provider, whether it is a MD or a naturopath or anyone who has the authority and credentials to walk you through this time of your life. Maybe you need to talk to your doctor about hormone replacement therapy or other type of medications to help you get through, especially if you're having very severe menopause symptoms, because sometimes if left unchecked, menopause symptoms can take you into things like heart palpitations or extreme anxiety or depression. So you don't want to leave things unchecked. Not all women go through this time of their life in the same manner. And as I said previously, talk to your doctor. More doctors are quite educated on the topic of women's symptoms and women's health. And if you find the right one, it is a true blessing when they take the time to explain things to you. But it's also up to you to understand your body and your body's symptoms and the transition that's going through. And like I said, keep a menopause diary or journal. So when you go to your healthcare provider, you have things in front of you. You have what affects you, what types of foods that you're taking. Are you over consuming caffeine or alcohol? Any of it. Anything that might trigger hot flashes, insomnia, irritability, any of it. Because again, you don't want your menopause to get in the way of your busy life. This is manageable, but you have to take control of it. Control of what you can do to help you get through easier and more effectively. This next point is a big one for me. Managing your schedule. As I started off this video by saying that we're still busy in our lives just because we are going through menopause doesn't mean that we're old women and we're now relegated to a rocking chair in the corner. We're still busy. We're still growing our careers. We're still creating great things out there in the world, or you might be traveling, or you might have taken on more responsibility with grandchildren, whatever. You're not done. So manage your schedule in order to manage your stress. Are there opportunities to delegate things you no longer need to think about anymore? So sit down and look at your schedule and, do some slicing and dicing where you need to make sure that you are no longer stuck doing things that are keeping you stressed and out of control and tired. And the last thing I want to talk to you today about is to manage your mindset. I know when you hear the word menopause or perimenopause, you might be stressing. You might have anxiety. You might become incredibly sad or even angry because in your mind you think you're growing old. My friend, the opposite is true. Yes, physically you're aging, but everybody is. There's nobody on this planet that will escape the process of aging. But it's how you embrace it and learn about yourself and engage the power of mindset, engage the power of choice, engage the power of, I would like to say, invincibility, because that's what you're becoming. You have endured so much. You have managed so much. You have come through so many different storms, and here you are. Menopause is just one thing to get through. It's a physical thing that can be managed with the right opportunities, the right products, the right environments, the right connections. There's no reason that you can't just move past this easily and more effortlessly than you imagine. But the mindset that you engage this process with is an important factor. The environment in which your mind sits all day long about this is an important factor. Are you giving up? Are you seeing yourself as unworthy or not valuable or invisible? I like that word invisible, meaning that, some people are afraid to be unseen. And to me, if I'm unseen at any given time, okay, it really means that I can just do what I need to do without the fear or the bother of having anybody notice me as I move through and get certain things done. So it's okay to be invisible at times, but you don't have to feel as if no one cares. You don't have to feel as if, why bother? I'm just going to sit around in dumpy clothes. I'm not going to comb my hair. Who cares? You should care for you. There's a part of you, an unseen part of you, that is still listening to your thoughts, that is still acting on your thoughts, that's still creating on the thoughts that you think. So if you think, why bother? Who cares? It doesn't matter. That's exactly what you're going to go ahead and create. And it's going to feel like a burden and heaviness upon your mind, body, and soul. So don't do that to yourself. Manage the state of your mind. Keep your mindset flowing evenly and beautifully and without stress. Okay, this whole video, I don't know if I've managed to convey the importance of managing stress at this time, meaning the activities that you're pulling yourself into, the state of health in which you're cultivating for this time of life, and your mindset. It's all part of that time of life that because you're transitioning, it doesn't mean it's over. It doesn't mean it has to be overly complicated, and it definitely doesn't mean that you burn yourself out. Okay, so just don't fall into traps that you don't need to fall into. Know thyself, manage thyself, love thyself. And with that, I'm inviting you to visit me at mojoresources.ca and download that What If handout that I have there. And with that, you'll also be on that list to receive upcoming vibrancy tips and just anything that I want to share with you to help you get past this magical time of your life. I'll see you again soon. Have a great week. Bye-bye.